This is a Suzuki Wagon R. I bought this car for $400 and we've been turning it into Japan's cheapest race car. This thing used to literally be NA, but now we've converted and changed everything by putting a supercharger on here from a Subaru Pleo of all things. We got everything so cheap all across Japan. You can see the supercharger sticking out here. The build series is on the channel. We'll have that linked below, so don't miss out on that. But it's got a fat intercooler now. I'm really excited. We've gone and bolted a Link ECU on this as well. But today we need to get into making this thing ready for the K-Car endurance races. There's a race coming up in a couple months and this car has to make it. And I want to be able to consecutively do the entire series if we can. So let's start getting into it. Here's my list of things that I really need to work on with the car. And as you can see, first of all, power steering. It has electric power steering and it's not enabling since we put in the Link ECU. So I need to work out why that's not working. Probably just to give it 12 volt on a certain sense wire and I think we'll be good. Then we need to do some kind of dashboard. Lightweight, we've removed all the stock stuff, so we need to sort that out because there's just a steel bar in there right now. Then we need to install our digital dash and then bucket seat and the steering wheel. I think those are kind of like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main things that I want to work on. And then this is the big one, make a lot lighter. This rest of the stuff's probably going to be in another video, but let me know what you guys think if this is a good idea. Another thing is cooling mods. I'm thinking of an ethanol injection, like the really cheap one that essentially is just using, you know, water, what do you call it, windshield washer, and we spray that in there in the intake or the, you know, the after the intercooler, and that'll really help cool this car and keep it running cool with high ATs and how it gets to like 40 degrees during summer when this thing needs to be racing. I think that might be very important to keep this thing alive. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea, if you have experience with the methanol injection stuff. Moving on, electric AC. Now this is not really something that we need, but I was thinking it might be nice to do it just because last time I raced in the series, it was crazy hot, full race suit and everything, and you die. Once again, it's like 40 plus, which is like 100 Fahrenheit for you guys. It's like Florida weather. So it might be a good idea to have one of those really cheap $800 electric AC systems that you find on Alibaba. And I thought it'd be a good thing to experiment with, but that will bring our budget up. But I was just like, it's kind of something I've been wanting to play with. Once again, let me know in the comments if you think, if you guys want to see that and see how that all works. Moving on, we need to tune it, we need the roll bar, and we need to race it. That's pretty much it. The roll bar is going to happen with Rob up his shop all the way up at Aomori where the race happens. He has the bender and everything there and he can knock it out in half a day and it'll be mint. So the main thing we need to worry about is everything else on this list so that we can get it started. Also, I was thinking of calling it the Wagon R Racing. What do you think? Interesting, even with the ignition on. So that tells me that maybe there's some other kind of relay then, whereas this thing might have some other issue. We're not getting powered on. Well, it seems like what I feared actually came true. Unfortunately, it seems like this is going to need some kind of digital signal to power up. I don't know if we'll be able to bypass the digital controller that's on the column here, use something else from another car that's simpler or not. I think the only way to get this to work is to feed it a digital signal. Now, the main reason why this is happening is because we've put the Link ECU and we were hoping to run it in more of a piggyback setup where the stock ECU still runs alongside it to power all the OBD things and, you know, give us, you know, things like telling our cluster here how much gas we have in the tank and all that type of stuff, right? The main thing we wanted the Link to do is just to control the engine, but we were still sending the trigger and the RPM signal to the stock ECU. But because this is a very new car and it has a super unique trigger wheel pattern, the Link couldn't read that and understand that. So what we did was we changed it to a crank pulley from a Suzuki Jimny that had a pattern on there that the Link recognized. But then the issue with that was then now the stock ECU can't even tell that the engine's running. So that's why it's not enabling anything when the engine's running and giving us all the feed. Like we've lost our RPM and speed and stuff like that on the cluster, which means then the ECU is not telling the electric power steering to turn on and everything like that. The reason why I know that that needs a digital signal is I found some YouTube video from someone in India that spoke Hindi. There was no English subtitles or anything like that, but from watching what he was talking about and kind of getting an understanding of things with hand signals and stuff, plus I was able to dig up on the internet somewhere this wiring pinout. It does require a digital signal from the speedo and a speed sensor thing from the ECU. So without that, it doesn't know how much to ramp up the electric power steering. If you guys know anything about a Wagon R electric power steering system and how to get it to work, let me know in the comment section. Just so you know, it's a MH22S and it's a Suzuki Wagon R, and everything's on the column there. Hopefully someone knows something and we can figure this out. Otherwise, it's definitely gonna be a Link technician thing. Moving on, we need either a digital dash, or we need a dashboard, and we need a bucket seat. Let's try and get all of those done today. Oh, that is perfect.
And just like that, we now have a dashboard. As you guys probably could have seen, we're using core flute, and I thought this would be a really good, lightweight, cheap option. It's something I've always thought about and wanted to try out. We've got the digital dash mounted here, which connects to the Link ECU and gives us all of our readout. We've got the stock one here, so we can still see all the data that tells us, like how full our gas tank is. I made some really nice standoffs and everything, kind of mounted it. It's a little wobbly right now, but we are going to be filling this whole section in here, including putting a few more of these thick pieces of core flute across to kind of like brace it, and then a thin piece on top. That'll also stop anything kind of reflecting off the windshield and make our life a little difficult. But that's where we're at with the dash. Let me know what you guys think. I think the core flute idea is genius, and it just works, and it's gonna look sick once that's all filled in. For now though, what we need to work on is steering wheel and the seat issue. It's time to say goodbye to the stock seat. It is to get things out of this car. This was, well, it's just also because I don't care. Now, come over here. This was a made-to-order custom seat rail from some random guy on Yahoo Auctions who makes them for these cars. It was about 8,000 yen, 7,000 yen or so. And this will allow us to mount a full racing bucket seat into the Wagon R. Look at that. That is a very interesting seat rail. I've never seen a seat rail that has standoffs like that. Look at that. Kind of looks ridiculous. So, I have this seat. This is actually the driver's seat that used to be in my FD car when I bought the thing, and it came from Australia. It was just sitting around and I had no idea what to do, and it was hiding up the top and the back of the shop. So it's going in the race car. The only thing I'm worried about is whether or not this will fit on this rail. This rail is designed for like Japanese brides and Recaras. This is a little bit of a wider seat meant for people in Australia or the US. So generally it's a little harder to make this fit, but hopefully it'll work.
A few moments later.
Wouldn't be a cheap seat rail without needing some modification. Am I right, guys?
Brand new. No one will ever know, except us. Shh. Let's put it in the car and hope it all bolts up. Oh, this is sick. It all lines up. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to change this, I think. But it's got seat rails. It's really high. It should be lower, right? Definitely should be lower. Luckily, we can go down a bunch of clicks here. It's easy though, we can tighten this up though. Put Daiki in there to see how high it is, because that's really high. That's good? Okay, so maybe if I drive, I'll just take the cushions out. But we can still lower this thing a fair bit. As you can see, there's like another 3 holes. We could go all the way to the lowest one and it'd probably be a lot better. That's not bad. So we got our bucket seat. We can take all of the stock seat belts out now. This is gonna get a roll bar and a harness bar, so this will have a proper 4-point in here. That would be nice. So now that we've got the racing bucket seat in there, the next thing on my to-do list was the steering wheel, and we've got the Boss kit for it. But I made a pretty big mistake. I thought I had a 330mm Nardi still, but all I have is this kind of odd classic Momo wheel with the flat bottom that came out of the Supra left. And that's not gonna work on this. I definitely want like a 330mm Nardi. In fact, I think maybe the 330mm Nardi ended up on the Supra as a temporary thing. That's right, because I'm waiting for the deep dish 350s to come in. So the wheel from that will end up going onto that. So just imagine that there's a nice Nardi there for me, guys, because we've got this and that'll probably just appear on the car in the next video. But we've pretty much almost done everything on my list. Ticking off bucket seat, steering wheel on order. And I mean, our power steering thing, if you guys once again know anything about that, please let us know. And then the next thing on our to-do list is make a lot lighter. We're gonna get into that in a second, but once again, let me know, guys, if you have any experience with methanol injection. Do you think it's gonna be a good idea to put this on this car? And then the electric AC, is that something you guys wanna see me play around with those cheap electric $500 to $800 kits that you can find on like AliExpress? I think that would be an interesting video because recently, a lot of people have started using them in their competition drift cars in Japan. And they're like just chilling, drifting on a crazy hot summer's day in 18 degrees C inside their car. But anyways, back to this. This is what we need to tackle right now. And there is a lot on this car that we can definitely save weight in, especially, well, I mean, we got to take the old passenger seat out, but especially when it comes to glass. Being a 4-door, we've got the rear passenger doors, quarter glass, boot or trunk, whatever you want to call this, glass, that's got to weigh a ton. And then don't forget the window regulators and stuff like that that are in these back doors as well. As for the front windows and glass, I think I want to keep these as is because it'll be nice to have windows that go up and down once again with how hot it gets in summers here. But if we can take out all of this, I think we're going to be sitting pretty and this thing's going to be even lighter. Of course, we still have a lot of things to just take out of inside the doors and things like that too, but I think the glass is definitely going to be a good start. And I just picked up this huge sheet of Perspex plastic from the home center. So let's get started. I'm trying to get the glass out without smashing it. As much as I'm sure you guys would love to see us just destroy this glass, I'd rather not make a huge mess. So we picked up this kit. It's a windshield removal toolkit, and we're going to see if we can pull out the glass without any casualties. This tool, I don't know, this just seems like something that they shouldn't sell, but this is so that we can push a wire through to then run around this little glass, the quarter glass. So I don't care so much about scratching this, so bear with me, but like it even came with one of these, which is super cool. But let's get this wire in here. What? How much does this piece weigh? Come with me, Doug. Come with me. It doesn't feel like much. But how much do you think it weighs, Dave?
5 kilo.
5 kilo? No way. 5 kilos? Maybe 1.
1.
Quick reminder as well, guys, all of these boxes here are HKS and Tomei parts going out. Every day we are sending Tomei, HKS, and any other Japanese manufactured parts, work wheels, VSKFs, all that type of stuff, brand new. We're shipping them to you guys all around the world. If you guys need anything, DM SAMMIT HQ or fill out the contact form on the website and the girls will get back to you and help you get your dream parts from Japan. But we're here to find out how much does this one piece of glass weigh. The answer is 878 grams, so almost 1 kilo for just this one piece. Now there's 2 of these on the car, so that's almost a 2 kilogram saving. Then if we take into account the rear glass, that rear glass will probably be 5 kilos in itself. I reckon with us taking out the back door glass and the rear glass and these, we could almost save 30 to 50 kilos. We'll see once we get it all out. But the door regulators and everything inside the doors as well that's coming out with the glass, Yeah, I think anywhere from 30 to 50 kilos, but let's find out. Let's get the rest of it out. Another good weight saving is removing things like rear wiper motors. Oh, the plug actually came out perfect on that. This probably weighs a kilo by itself, and then the wiper as well. So this is definitely gonna save a bit. We'll put this in the pile and we're gonna weigh everything at the end and just see how much we've been able to save from taking the glass and everything out. I think it's gonna be a lot more than we're thinking. My whole face is covered in sweat. Bro, we definitely do not have the right tools for the job, but we have tools that do work with a lot of perseverance. Another sheet of glass off. That was not easy. Why are there all these clips? Like, look at all these clips. This is what's been screwing us, are these clips, and the wire gets caught on them and then won't go, and then it gets stuck and rubs off on the middle edges. I think I just figured out how you're meant to use this. Like, once you get it going, it becomes more of like a hot wire. Like, it just heats up and melts through everything. Right. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Well, that went a lot smoother than the last two. And I never thought it'd be such a workout to get glass out. You glass removers out there that do this for professional, like, I respect the hell out of you guys so much more now. Whew, I never want to do that again. I wanted to save you guys all of the hassle of us struggling to get the glass and regulators out of the rear passenger doors, but that's done. There's still more we can cut out, but for now, we'll leave it there. The only other thing I kind of want to remove is this. Let's put this all in the pile and see how much weight we've saved. I think it's gonna be a fair bit. Like, all the rubber extra seals that go around the glass, the regulators from the back, not to mention all the nuts and bolts too. Like, that stuff adds up too. I was talking to a few friends who, with some of their FD cars in the USA, they actually spent the time and the money changing all of the hardware in the car, bolts, nuts, and studs, to titanium on the chassis. And at the end of it, it was almost like a 50 kilo, like 30 to 50 kilo saving overall, which is actually a lot. And that will definitely help your car be faster off the line. Anyway, let's get the scales real quick and just kind of stack this all up and see where we're sitting. But I'm thinking at least like 30 to 40 kilos right now, maybe a little more, who knows? I want to know exactly how much weight one rear door glass is. So 2.8 kilos for just that. And then if we add the regulator and the slider to it, 3.9, so 4 kilos each side. That's gonna save a lot. All right, so let's get that off. Let's put both of all, shut up Siri, let's put those on. Then, rear glass, all the regulators, struts, all the rubber. Ooh, I probably shouldn't pick that up from the ends like that. It flicks that glass a lot. Let's see. So 17.5 kilos in just the stuff that we've removed today, not including more that we're gonna cut out of the doors in the back, because we're just gonna make them like a skin, and then they'll just be Perspex glued in there. Now bear in mind, the Perspex is a little, it's gonna add weight, but it's nothing compared to this. I'd say maybe like 2 or 3 kilos overall, but we'll weigh it once it's cut and let you guys know in a future video. The most important thing that I want to find out today is how much weight we took out with the stock seats. How much weight we saved by taking this out. That one seat is pretty much the same weight as all of that. And the weight of our racing bucket, we'll weigh the car when we're done. I don't feel like unbolting it right now, but I thought it would be more. We need to get more out. I want to oh man, we'd have to take out the glass and the regulators in the front. If we put the electric aircon in, and we work out that that's only say, 8 kilos, that whole system in the back, then I would take out the glass and the regulators and skim the front doors a little bit. But then we'd have, if I skin the doors in the front, we have to have side intrusion bars for sure. Like I would not feel safe. It's not a requirement, but I would not feel safe with gutted doors without that bar in there. So we can take out the glass and the regulators and then put perspex in the front. But I mean, the windshield would probably be the heaviest glass. We could take one wiper off the front and just have one single one too for a weight reduction. We could change the battery to something lighter, like a LiPo battery. Trying to think of other ways we can save weight. Fiberglass hood. I wonder if someone can make a fiberglass hood. I don't know if anyone makes fiberglass hoods for these. What are some other ways that we can save weight? The dash, the stock dash would have been cool to weigh. That would have definitely weighed a lot. But I think we're on the right track. I think even the stock steering wheel is a decent amount of weight compared to the like a Nardi wheel and the hub that we're gonna put on there. That'll be cool to kind of weigh up and see what the difference is. But let me know in the comment section what kind of other things should we try and think about taking off that are gonna be like weight reduction, like decent. Like this is decent. It's like 30 kilos we're taking out of the car today. That's a lot in a K car. So if we can think of other ways, I think what I want to really tackle is removing all the wiring for things that we're not using anymore. I think that's going to be quite a bit of weight as well. Copper does add up pretty quickly. But yeah, I'm just trying to think what else we could take out to save weight and make this thing faster, because in the class that we're in, there's some guys that are running like 2-bar boost with a crazy turbo setup with the same engine platform, and I'm going in there with maybe 1.4 bar and a supercharger. I'm hoping we have a decent chance of getting podium with this thing if we get this car like that and we got the right drivers, which we should, right Daiki? Daiki just made a really good point. We haven't removed any of the OEM sound deadening in the car. All the floor pans, front and rear, are covered in it, even some places at the firewall. I think we order a bunch of dry ice, Daiki, and we take off the sound deadening, and then we weigh that. I think that's gonna be a decent amount. Also, all these, like we don't need these. It's a race car, we don't care about this. Maybe just some of your friends might get inside the car like cockroaches, right? Or a little bit of water, that'll be all right. We'll keep these seals on the door, but we don't need these. This is a decent amount. Just this alone is like, I don't know, maybe 500 grams, maybe 800? Just this rubber seal. We take that off all 4 doors, 5 doors, including the trunk has one. Okay, I was wrong, it was 400 grams. But times that by 5, and probably even the rear trunk one's a bit bigger, being a bigger door, and we're looking at over 2 kilos. That's pretty big for just rubber seals. I can't imagine what the sound deadening is going to be like. I reckon our pile at the end of this, and it sucks because we didn't get to weigh some of the other stuff that we took off and then the things that we added on, like the supercharger and the intercooler. But I'm gonna have a full set of scales soon to weigh the whole entire car. And it'll be interesting to look at like what these cars' weight was from the factory compared to what it's going to be once we're done with it. I'm even considering, why not just cut out the roof and just put a very thin like sheet of carbon fiber pot riveted into that, just as a cheap carbon fiber roof. I just want to make this thing as stupid light as possible so that we have a very fair chance at winning. There's a good chance the supercharger's falling off, so it's going to end up turning into an NA car, but smiles per gallon. That's what we're going for. But we also want to win while smiling.